welcome to Shy Comic Girl. It's that time of the week where it's New Comic Book Day. I stopped into my local comic shop yesterday and grabbed my pull list. It was pretty late this week. There was only 2 in my box, so I decided to pick up a few extra comics that are back issues that I either missed out on. I'm seeing that they're being reviewed pretty well, so now they've caught my intrigue, or there's a few issues where I have been sitting on whether or not I was going to dive into it. So since my pull list was pretty light, I figured it was the perfect time to pick up a few other issues. Also, let me know what is on your pull list this week, what new titles you looked forward to, and what you ended up buying. I would love to hear what you picked up. So drop a comment down below and let me know. I'm gonna go by publisher. I think that'll just be a little bit easier because I have a little bit of mixture from everyone, or not everyone, but a couple different comic publishers. So on my pull list this week was issue 6 of Witch Blood. I'm absolutely loving the tarot covers. They're my favorite, so I've gone with cover B for the entire run at this point. It's a Wild West meets witches meets vampires. There is a witch named Yana who is battling against these biker vampires, and it is from Vault, and it's written by Matthew Ehrman and illustrated by Lisa Sterl. So I'm really enjoying it. It's been a really fun ride. I think the artwork is absolutely gorgeous, and it is also really funny. And if you're into any kind of tarot or just witchy stuff, this is definitely for you. The other comic that I picked up from Vault that is not new this week is the last book you'll ever read. I'm going to show you this. So I went into the shop to pick this issue up, and I thought it was just a black cover. And it was in a bag, and I feel like maybe that should have been my warning, or I should have known that that's why it was a little bit different, that it was bagged. I got home and I take this off, and underneath the cover is pretty graphic. And since I don't know if there will be any young children watching this video, I am not going to show that cover, but you can see the cover A that was not in a board right over here. So what is interesting about this, I saw it in the comic shop a bit ago. I've heard good things. It didn't really catch me because it was more on the horror side, which is not something that I typically lean towards, but I'm trying to dive into a little bit more since there's Something is Killing the Children. We're seeing House of Slaughter that's upcoming, and Stray Dogs, which I have not read. Don't come for me. I've heard amazing things, but I've heard that they pitched it as Silence of the Lambs meets Lady and the Tramp. So there's a lot of horror going on right now, and I feel like a lot of people are really into it, that the writers are doing a really good job. So I'm just going to go for it. And so the last book you'll ever read is about Olivia Cade, who knows that there's this impending doom or apocalypse and that civilization is a lie. She writes this book called Satyr. It becomes a bestseller, but is then blamed for a bunch of senseless violence that's happening. And so I haven't read it. I don't really know what to expect. I'm excited. I've heard good things. So I will come back to you letting you know what I think. So moving on to Marvel, what was also in my pull box this week is Champions issue 9. So I'm gonna be very honest. I have not kept up with my champion issues. I'm desperately behind on reading them. I feel like every time I go to sit down to read them, there have been more interesting comics or books that I'm reading that are pulling me to it. So I think I'm gonna take maybe this weekend and just binge them so that way I can get all caught up. That was my only pull for Marvel this week. I have picked up other comics last week. I think the Shang-Chi I picked up the subsequent issues because I had issue 1. But yeah, that's it for Marvel. Moving on to DC, I have a bone to pick. So a couple of months ago, I picked up Wonder Woman, The Future State with Yara Flor. Loved it. Went in and I've been looking for the second one. And so I picked up Wonder Girl, issue 2. And I was sitting there and I'm like, Wonder Girl, Wonder Woman, the titles are different. They have the same woman on the cover. I definitely messed this up. And I did. And they're not of the same issues. However, I just need someone else to recognize that this is Wonder Girl issue 1. And this is Wonder Woman issue 1. And they're both Yara Flor. And I keep buying the wrong one. I bought issue 2 of Wonder Girl, even though I already had it, because I thought it was issue 2 of Wonder Woman. And so I have duplicates of these comics because I cannot find or just like remember when I was at the comic like shop looking. I'm like, okay, I can't mess this up. Like they look kind of similar. I need to just buy the right one. And so I'm just going to order Wonder Woman issue 2 online so I know that I don't screw it up in the store. I'm excited to read them. I really liked Wonder Woman Future State, and so I'm hoping that Wonder Girl is equally as good from Infinite Frontier. I will say I'm not incredibly familiar with DC. This is kind of one of my first entry points into DC. I've never been a huge Batman, Superman fan, or just even really Wonder Woman. So if you have any DC recommendations, drop them below. Also, if you know the difference between Future State and Infinite Frontier, please educate me down below in the comment section because I have no idea. And I'm sure I could just Google it, but I haven't. And if you would like to, let me know. I'm here to listen. So the last 2 comics that I have are from Image. So I picked up the Oblivion Song first look. So Image first. And that's because issue 1 is insanely priced right now since Jake Gyllenhaal was casted in the adaptation for Oblivion Song. So now all of the issues are getting up there. So I thought I would buy this for $1 and check out the series. It's from Robert Kirkman, who also wrote Walking Dead, and I am a huge fan of The Walking Dead. I will say I dropped off of the comic run. I still watch the TV show. I have loved the Walking Dead comics that I own and read, and so I'm expecting good things. Again, I really like him as a writer, so I'm excited. Then the one that I'm really excited for from Image is Echolands. So initially, this just Red Riding Hood vibes, 100%. And I am here for anything that takes any fairy tale trope or aspect and twists it, makes it darker. And so this is written by J.H. Williams and W. Hayden, who they worked together on Batwoman, and they said that this is like horror movie vampires, werewolves, mobsters, Roman demigods, robots, and cowboys, with Hope Red Hood, who steals, I think, a gem, and it opens this like mystery world. And so I'm really excited to dive in. They said that it takes a lot of tropes and genres and bends them and flips them. And so the title Echolands is kind of this callback to what feels familiar in terms of these genres and tropes, and then turning it. So, and twisting it and making it familiar enough that you see and feel this like echo come through, but it's not necessarily what you think. So I'm really excited. The artwork looks really amazing. Here you go. That's just, I mean, that's gorgeous. I love the flow of the artwork. It makes you kind of sit and be present while reading it. And I love that it's wider, it's in landscape form. That is different. And I love anyone that's doing something different, especially in the construction of a book. That always really excites me. So I'm extremely excited to dive into Echo Lens. If you've read it, if you like it, if you have any opinion on it, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think, or about any of these other titles. I'm curious to see how other people are receiving them. Also with Oblivion Song, if you're like a hardcore fan, let me know so I can know to come to you and we can chat about it once I start reading it. I'm always here to fangirl any kind of book or comic book that I'm reading. So if you liked this video, subscribe. I will be trying to do weekly New Comic Book Day videos and letting you know what I get from my pull list, and when I deviate, like I did this week, and buy a whole bunch of other comics. Yeah, thanks for watching.